Aloke Kumar Banerjee is Director of Finance at the company. He joins us on a phone line. Ongc reported first quarter results where at the net level there was a big miss. I mean, actually compared to our expectations, there was 1,000 crore miss. But operating profit, EBITDA, was actually better. Mr. Banerjee, thanks for joining us as always. Could you first run us through the miss at the net profit? So 3,500 crore dry well write-off.
Yeah.
I mean, how are there write-offs which happen every quarter? And I mean, it's kind of would it be possible to talk about this and give us some outlook as well? Yeah.
Definitely. Actually, what happens now? These write-offs are nothing but we do a lot of exploratory wells. Now, those exploratory wells, some of them are written off because they are dry. This is very natural phenomena in oil and gas industry. Now, only thing that this write-off occasion, it need not go evenly with time. It happens is a decision of driven by scientific and technical assessment of the wells. So when it is decided that it is dry wells, then we write it off. It may happen that in one particular quarter it may go up, and the next quarter it may come down. So overall, if you see that it coincidence that this quarter we have written off some high-cost wells in the deep water. In the East Coast, we have been exploring for quite some time. So there are some of the wells, very, very high-cost deep water wells has been written up this quarter. So this is what this is very natural phenomena. Maybe that this figure appears to be little, aberration. Next quarter, there may not be any major deep water or costly wells write-off. Overall, profitability, as you are telling, I know the expectation of the market was on the higher side, but I feel that
how do you, I mean, so how do you show these write-offs? I mean, do you show these as and when in the quarter that they, you
yes.
come up, you hit a dry well? I mean, you have to show you have to write it off in that particular quarter?
We go, yes, if this quarter the decision has been taken, we show it in the same quarter. Now we go by very, very simplistic, straight, transparent way. We have no other, so this quarter, this is more. If you see the last year, first quarter, it was much less. So it was less like that. So when it happens, we account it for like that. We don't do any sort of, this is purely a transparent system in our accounting.
Yeah, no, but because this write-off is essentially half of what you actually wrote off for the full year last year, fiscal 14.
Yes.
Just in one quarter.
It may happen that next 3 quarters we may have a low write-off, and definitely since we have already written off all these major high cost wells, definitely we may expect that next few quarters. Next quarter or next 3 quarters this year, the this write-off expected to be on the lower side. That's what because it is not in our hand. This is a continuous process. We go on drilling our exploratory wells. So now we had a very major program in the deep water in the East Coast. So this is a culmination of that. Some of the wells have been written off. So this is that happened that it has happened in this quarter.
Okay, but and obviously you take care to narrow down the wells that you really want to go after and take due care. I mean, so it's not as they say, a spray and pray kind of strategy, right? I mean, you obviously do your due diligence and then go after these wells.
Yes.
But
yes,
it's not in your hands, obviously. Yeah.
No, actually what happens, normally we drill every year, total, both together, exploration and development together, we drill about 450 wells. And out of that exploration, maybe the range of 175 wells. So out of these wells, normally our success ratio is 3:1. So this is normal. So now in one quarter, maybe it is more, next quarter it may be less. So it is quite a natural phenomena, and it may go up in a particular quarter, it may come down in the second quarter, but if you see it is overall 4th quarter together as a year, it gets even out normally. So this figure is not that it did not go evenly over time. So I hope that the investors and whoever is reading this statement about his performance, they would appreciate that this is not a very unnatural phenomena. This may happen, and expected that next quarter onwards, this figure may come down.
Right. Mr. Banerjee, the subsidy pay that you had to bear was actually lower than what many were expecting. Could you give us what the number for the full year is likely to be projected?
Subsidy, government of India is fixing subsidy at the rate of $56 per barrel. Now, what happened in as far as ONGC is concerned, this is slightly more in arithmetically because our condensate what we produce, that is also considered for subsidy calculation. And this condensate we don't sell as crude oil. We process it further for value-added products like naphtha and LPG, etc. So as a result, arithmetically, our subsidy is coming almost $62, $63 per barrel. So this is this, but basically this is, as a government formula, this is $56 per barrel of our production. Now, the issue comes that it's $56, so only the difference is there because of the rupee-dollar exchange rate, because our production almost remaining flat. If you see this quarter, this is slightly more vis-a-vis the last year first quarter. So this is because the rupee-dollar exchange rate, there is a difference. Otherwise, in absolute terms, dollar terms, it is remaining almost same. Now, in time to come, what we are expecting that this is the subsidy figure last year, it came down vis-a-vis the preceding year. Last year, our subsidy, overall under recovery by the government of India for oil, petroleum products was about 149,000 crore. Vis-a-vis the financial year 12, it was 160,000. This year, government has taken a number of steps. As you know, this diesel price increase vis-a-vis, LPG also. There is, limitation of the LPG, low-cost LPG, etc. So the overall subsidy is likely to come down. And it is expected, although it is very difficult to predict any figures because it all depends on the international price of the crude oil as well as the rupee-dollar exchange rate. But still, people are expecting that it will be in the range of maybe 100,000 or 110,000, whatever it is. So, but there will be a substantial reduction from the last year's figure of 139,000 crore. So, ONGC as a company expects to have a reduction in its subsidy share. So that is what, and we have already requested government to consider that to reduce our subsidy figure, and government has given patient hearing, and they have told that yes, they look into it and they will review, and they may be in the process of review. I mean, but it is not also in the hands of the government. But we hope that because of the downturn of the subsidy, a reduction in the overall subsidy under recovery, our subsidy sharing also will come down.
Has the government promised you a higher realization per barrel of crude, sir?
Beg your pardon?
Has the government promised you a higher realization of every barrel of crude that you sell?
Yes, exactly. Now, actually, what government has told that they will review. They have not promised so far that how much will be there. They have told that they will review it and to they will look into this into the factor that whether the subsidy contribution by government can be by ONGC can be reduced. Today it is $56. So if it is reduced by any X dollar, so my retention price will go up by that.
Mr. Banerjee, this is Anindya Chakravarti from the Delhi studio. Good afternoon, sir. Good morning, sir. Just wanted some clarity on the royalty being paid to the Gujarat government. We understand that the Supreme Court has said that you'll have to pay it, and you're showing it as deposits at the current moment because you're contesting that order from the Supreme Court. What is the total amount that you're likely to be paying out and showing as deposits at the moment?
No, as far as, this, we are not contesting Supreme Court decision. Actually, we have contested the Gujarat government decision, and the Supreme Court, we have went to Supreme Court. Now, as far as this Supreme Court decision is there, they are told that status quo for the till date, and from last January, last February, that you pay and the pre-discount rate. So that way we have been paying this money to the Gujarat government, and we are only keeping it as a deposit. This thing till the final decision comes from the Supreme Court. So this is very.
And how much is the total you'll have to pay? I understand that it goes over many years. So what is the total amount that you have to pay on that?
it would be if the order of quarterly, it would be expected to be of the order of about 500 crore. I don't have the right now. I don't have the exact figure how much we have paid to the Gujarat government in excess of earlier formula. But it would be the order of, I think, about 400, maybe at least quarterly, it will be 400, 500 crore. But that exact figure I don't have. But this is not that it is, you hope
some
that...
suggestions, some calculations show that the the contingent liability that you face is almost about 123 billion or 1.23 lakh crores. Is that a correct, or is that a very high number being given? Or 12, sorry, I've got that wrong. About 12,300 crore total. Yes. Is that correct?
12,300 crore. Yes.
12,300 crore.
This is the figure right from the 2000, what happened is royalty issue. Initially, we paid discount. Then subsequently in 2008, we got an clearance from the government that we can pay post discount as we have been paying in the offshore. So then we started paying in post discount. So now what we have done, but at the same time, since it is a decision of the High Court, although we have gone to the Supreme Court, we realized that it should be shown as a contingent liability. So right from 2008 onwards, whatever is due, it may come or may not come, we are not sure. This all depends on the decision of the Supreme Court. So that figure is now 12,000 crore. Now this figure is slightly increased over the last year because whatever you are showing as deposit, that figure also is showing as a contingent liability.
So will you be able to pass on this to your buyers if you have to pay that out? Will you be able to pass that on?
I cannot immediately say because it may be difficult, but that decision is very hypothetical. Let us see what decision comes, and then accordingly we'll address it. But at this point of time, very difficult that how, if suppose something comes in that way, how to mitigate it. But we are hopeful that we'll get something in our favor also.
So would it be correct to say that 12,320 odd crore rupees is currently going to be in the will be shown as a deposit as you pay them out, but they could turn into an expense if a Supreme Court order goes against you? Would that be a fair statement?
No, I think 12,000 crore we have not paid.
Okay.
We have paid from this February onwards as per Supreme Court decision. Supreme Court decision was that till January you give.
No, I'm just asking that over the subsequent quarters, as you said that you'll be paying out, you don't know how much, but over subsequent quarters the total contingent liability is about 12,320 crore, which will be shown as a deposit till order comes. But if that order goes against you, it will become an expense, right? Am I correct in assuming that?
But one small clarification, correction.
Yeah.
That 12,000 crore we are not showing as deposit. We are showing deposit only from February, whatever we are paying to the government towards excess royalty. And this balance about 10,000 odd crore, it is for the past period, which we have not paid, neither we have shown as deposit. This is only as a contingent liability we have shown.
All right. But is that also being asked for? Is the Gujarat government saying that you'll have to pay that entire amount? But you're contesting that in the Supreme Court at the moment, right?
If the Supreme Court orders that this is to be paid, then we have to pay it. And then we have to see that how we can address this issue with the government and other. That is a different issue altogether at this point of time.
One last question, sir, and I want this to just, if you could explain to our viewers as well, what the tax implications are. I understand that on your Mozambique debt, you're actually showing it, you're capitalizing that, right? The interest payment?
Interest will naturally, I don't know, what we're referring to. Normally what happens, whenever in the construction time, whatever the interest we pay, this is during the construction period, it can be capitalized. Yeah. So now this Mozambique issue, I don't know, exactly what is your question, if you can...
No, I'm just saying that I understand that the interest cost on the Mozambique debt has been capitalized because, as you said, that it's in the construction period. What are the tax implications? Because isn't there a difference in tax write-off when you capitalize and when you take it as a full expense? A one-time
No,
expense?
actually what happened now, this tax regime in Mozambique is altogether different from ours.
Okay.
Our tax implication is altogether different.
Okay.
We have a separate agreement and separate provision in the Companies Act for taxation of this oil and gas. So this is altogether different. And in Mozambique, the regime is different. So that will not be applicable. Our tax provision would not be applicable there.
All right. Okay, Mr. Banerjee. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us those clarifications. Very interesting and very important. Thank you so much.